Well, hi, everyone. This is Michael, and we are bringing you our 17th episode of Linking In with LoveWorks. And it's at LoveWorks where we believe that you are never too young to be a dreamer and you are never too old to do your dream.
That's right. And our hope with Link is that each week our special guest is going to connect with you wherever you find yourself today, and they're going to inspire you to become the best version of yourself for tomorrow.
Absolutely. And let us know, drop it in the chat box if there is a future guest, a dreamer and doer that you would like to have with us on Linking with LoveWorks. And those of you know, because you're already tuned in, but we stream on Mondays on Facebook Live, on YouTube and Instagram. And not only that, but on Thursday nights at 7 p.m., where we stream a special segment where it's called Spreading Hope Around the World. And Carolyn, this Thursday was a can't miss stream. We had several live guests, and one of them was Norman Public School Rookie Teacher of the Year. He's multi-talented. His name is Tyler Overton, and he wrote a special rewrite of The Shot from the smash hit Hamilton that we would love for you to check out a short clip. So let's roll the video.
Stronger. These Oklahoma streets get colder. We shoulder every burden, every disadvantage. We have learned to manage. No toilet paper to brandish. We walk these steep distance. Plan is to suspend the spark into a flame. But man, it's getting dark, so let me spell out the name. We are a QUARAN team. We are meant to be a nation that chooses distancing. Meanwhile, we keep.
Wasn't that awesome? You'll have to go back and find Link episode number 16 to get the full song. He does an awesome job at that. So it's a roll call time. And so students, parents, whoever you are that's listening, put your name in the comments, what grade you're in, and also where you live. And we have a really special additional ask for you today. We want you to put in the comments what your favorite birthday treat is, because it's in special recognition of who our guest is. Michael, what's your favorite birthday treat?
Oh, Carolyn, you're already just making me hungry. This is a tough one. I'm thinking chocolate, double chocolate, or maybe triple chocolate has to be my favorite treat.
So chocolate sounds about right. I'm actually having some leftover cake for breakfast right now. This was actually, my birthday was this weekend. So one of our dear friends, Kyle, actually made this berry chantilly cake, which happens to be my favorite birthday treat. So
Carolyn, was it your sweet 16 birthday?
Maybe add maybe add a decade and a little more.
I love it. Well, okay, dreamers and doers, here is the format. I know you know it well, but I like to remind everybody that on Mondays, you get a chance where we interview a special guest and you get a chance to hear about one of their dreams. Not only that, a few of the steps they took to reach the dream, and perhaps they'll share with you a challenge or two that they encountered along the way. We're also going to carve out a special time at the very end for question and answers. And so definitely don't wait. Get in those questions now or during the interview, and we'll definitely take a few minutes to answer those for you.
Mm-hmm. And to warm you up for today's interview, we have a trivia question. And so whoever gets this question right, we will mail you a prize directly to your house. And so this one's really fun. It is, and make sure, before I say it, don't ask Alexa or Google or Siri, whoever you're asking, make sure this comes just from you. How many birthdays are there in a day? So how many birthdays are there every single day? And I'm sorry if I just set off one of your smart assistants.
I imagine that probably happened. Carolyn, I'd imagine this answer could be a moving target. I'm just going to throw out an answer. I'm going to throw out just a number, 7,000 birthdays in a day. Do you have a number, an idea in mind?
I don't know, 15,000.
Wow, 15,000. Well, we'll have to find that out in just a few minutes. Well, dreamers and doers, let's meet today's dreamer and doer, Robyn Bomar.
That's right. Robyn is the founder of the Birthday Project. She is a kindness consultant. She's a wife, a mom, and let me tell you, she's an amazing friend as well. So, Miss Robyn, hello.
Hi, guys. So nice to see you all this morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing great. Very great. How are you guys today?
We are doing well. I feel like I just got to say, like, hey, Robyn, and it wouldn't just be the same talking to you, just saying, hi, friend.
Hi, friend.
I love how you say that.
I love
Well, we are absolutely thrilled, Robyn, to have a fellow dreamer and doer with us today. This is going to be a lot of fun talking about birthdays. But first,
Yeah, we wanted to just get a quick little update from you. Most of our listeners or viewers may or may not know, but your family actually lives in New York, which is one of the hardest hit states of the COVID-19 pandemic. And so we just wanted to ask you, like, how are you guys doing right now?
Well, we're doing really well. Thank you for asking. Thankfully, everyone is healthy and safe. We actually, we left New York City before we actually kind of took our kids out a couple of days early from school before they had officially sent everybody to do school from home. So we went to a house that we had already booked in the Phoenix area. And so we are loading up on our vitamin D. We're able to spread out a little because for anybody who's not familiar, living in New York City is very fun and very exciting, but you live in very close quarters. So we have 3 kids so there's 5 of us total, and we live in a 2-bedroom apartment, believe it or not. So it's nice to spread out a little, get some sunshine, but we work online and we do school online. And so we are talking to our friends in New York every single day, all day long. And so we're actually heading back end of the month. So we got to get back to some type of normalcy. And I just keep thinking about my plants that I know are dead. It's so sad.
Yes, I would have tried to figure out a way to ship them to Phoenix with me.
Yeah.
And if anyone can revive a plant on this stream, it definitely is Carolyn. So she'll see what she could do with her green thumb. Well, Robyn, we're going to get into, of course, the birthday project in just a moment. But I wanted to ask you just a question, and this is, I hope you receive this as a compliment. You know, it's been said about people, and usually it's like long after they're passed, you know, that this individual, or you hear this at a funeral, you know, that you know, he or she had never met a stranger. And I really feel like that's one of the highest compliments that you can give someone. Robyn, if you don't hear that already, people are going to be saying that about you. And this is a lead in, I think, into just the birthday project and how and why you started it. But how do you love people so well? Like, were you just like born this way, like in the delivery room? So tell us, you know, what just about just your kindness, and how did that, is that something that you were always like?
Well, Michael, you are very sweet and kind to say that. I appreciate that. I often think that my kids might disagree with you sometimes because I'm also a mom, and I'm not kind all the time. But I will say that I think I was never a shy kid ever, but I was a very insecure kid. So I think for a long time, as a kid growing up, I liked people, but I honestly think I liked people because I wanted them to like me. I wanted them to notice me. I wanted them to pay attention to me. And, you know, that's probably very age appropriate at the time. But looking back, I was a really insecure kid. And although I might have seemed nice, I don't know that my motivation was always very sincere or where it is now. Actually, when I got to college, I had a friend who was she became my roommate. And I remember watching how people responded to her because she was so kind. But what I really noticed was how people responded to her. So I started paying attention. I actually learned her. I remember saying, I'm learning Natalie, because she had this way of making people feel really good when she talked to them. And the thing about Natalie is that she's genuine. She's not just saying what she thinks you want to hear, but she's very positive and she always brings out the best things. And so for a few years, I just learned Natalie, and I started trying to incorporate what she did and being around her. You know, I think when you surround yourself with people that you want to be more like, you tend to pick up their tendencies. So what I then kind of learned was that I I think I stopped relating to people out of a place of insecurity, of wanting them to like me and pay attention to me, and just to really learn people. And there's that saying that people don't really remember what you say or what you did, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. And even though that's kind of a cliche saying, I really have learned that that's true. And so now I just want to learn about people. And what's funny is that when you love people well and you pay attention to them and you're truly interested in what they have to say, they eventually do want to know about you. But that's not my motivation anymore. I don't need to tell them about me. I want to know about what they're doing, what their story is. And then, I think that's kind of where you sort out the difference between your acquaintances and your friends in life, is the ones who really turn it around and want to know about you. Those tend to be your friends. Otherwise, you just make a lot of nice acquaintances and you meet some really cool people and you learn a lot of nice stories. But the people who really want to know about you, they love you well, those are the ones that end up being friends. So that's sort of, I think, where I've come from. I really do love people. I love people more than anything else. Some people love to go to nature and admire the Grand Canyon and look at the trees. And I like all that, but I really love people. They're the best part of creation, is just people. They're my favorite. So that's what I like to sit. I like to watch them. I like to listen to them. I certainly love to talk to them.
Well, I love it. And you do that very, very well. And I think that's a great segue, Robyn, into the birthday project, your nonprofit, which we'll get to, which, by the way, I think you have one of the coolest job titles in the world, being a kindness consultant. But take us back. Let's rewind to your 38th birthday, because there's something pretty special that happened about that one.
Yeah, so I was an event planner. I still sort of am in a way, but I was a professional event planner. I planned weddings and parties, and I was fortunate enough to sort of work my way across the country, and I was doing some really fun things for some pretty famous people and big fancy weddings, and it was all lovely. I really had a good time, and of course, I loved celebrating my kids' birthdays and my own birthday. It was always a time to get together with people and have fun. And it just so happened that year I had come off of a super busy holiday season. And, I was just feeling a little empty with the whole party situation. It was fun, but it started feeling a little bit like showing off. It felt like always trying to outdo the last party, whether it was other people's parties that I was planning for them or even my own. You're always trying to take it one step further. What can we do that's different and more fun and more exciting? And I just started feeling like it didn't really have a lot of heart to it anymore. And I wanted to do something that felt meaningful, but was still fun. So I ended up spending some time thinking about what I could do. And at the time, I think now I'm very grateful that this has become an idea that has really taken off. But 10 years ago, when I searched the internet for ideas on things, it really didn't come up with much. Believe it or not, there was a time before Pinterest, and this was before Pinterest. So there was nobody doing these ideas and posting them online. So I got my kids together and I said, what if we just went out and did nice things for people? Let's come up with a list of nice things. And so, it's funny is they always say random acts of kindness, but what I learned as an event planner is that you got to plan. So therefore, they're not really random as much as they're intentional. Big believer in intentional acts of kindness, because it may feel random to the person who gets to experience the kindness, but we have to be really intentional. We decide if we want to do something nice for someone. So we made a list, and at the time I was turning 38, and I thought, wouldn't that be fun if we did 38 things on my 38th birthday? So we did. We gathered all of our stuff. We planned it out a couple of days in advance, and we spent the day just doing really nice, fun things for people. Some things cost a little bit of money, which I thought, instead of spending money on a party or going out to dinner, this is what I want to do. And some things, a lot of things were free, or things we already had, just using the resources we had. So it ended up becoming a thing that I put on my blog for my event planning company. And little did I know how that would just resonate with so many people. Really, it ended up across the world. People loved the idea. They thought, what a fun idea. They wanted more ideas, and then they wanted more free ideas, and they wanted ideas for kids. And what about ideas for people who are older who don't want to celebrate their birthday anymore? And what about, all sorts of ideas. It just took off, and I thought, wow, this is a thing. Who knew it was a thing? So we made it a thing. And now for 10 years, I've had the real honor to hear really cool stories. And listen, my 38 things were fun, but the things that people have done all over the world are just so incredibly, overwhelmingly kind and creative and thoughtful. And so I learn all the time about kindness from other people. I get to sort of be the keeper of all those stories and learn how to then share them with others.
Well, I like what you say of your story really resonated with other people. And I think it just shows, how powerful kindness can be, even those small intentional acts of kindness. And you say you've inspired some stories, and that's true. Countless people have now done birthday projects after hearing about yours. And so we wanted to ask, what is, if you have at least maybe one of your favorite stories from over the years?
Well, I think I have probably, I have one that I personally like that I did that I thought was really meaningful. I think when you start doing this, sometimes you don't get the reaction maybe you think you're going to get because you plan it all out, and then someone might just say thank you, or more interestingly, they don't say thank you, or they say no thank you. And so there have been very interesting things that you sort of experience. But one time we were personally, my kids and I were in a park in New York City, and we had given, I had seen 2 days before, I had seen they seemed like they were probably teenagers. They were homeless. And I happened to be walking home from dinner one night, and I passed them, and I didn't have anything for them, but they caught my eye because they were young. And you see a lot of homeless people on the streets of New York City, but you don't see a lot of young homeless people. And it caught my eye, and it broke my heart. And I didn't really have anything that I didn't know what to say or do. So 2 days later, we were in a park, and I saw them. And the fact that you would ever see anybody 2 days later, just randomly, was a big surprise. And I had thought about them for so long. So, a lot over those 2 days. So when I saw them, I happened to have these, what I would call a blessing bag. We would just put together these little Ziploc bags of things. There was like toothpaste and toothbrush and crackers and snacks and shampoo and all those little things that maybe you get from the hotel or from your dentist office when you leave after your appointment. And so I was so excited to see this kid. He did not know me, but I knew him because I've been thinking about him. And so I kind of went up to him very familiar, and it took him off guard. And he was very guarded and very kind of like puffed up. And I had to stop and say, hi, I'm so sorry. I saw you the other night, and I just wonder if if you could use these things. And this guy, by the way, this kid, he had a tattoo on his face. He looked really rough. He kind of looked scary. But I wasn't afraid of him because I had seen him before, and I really had hoped and wished I had done something for him. And anyway, he ended up looking at this bag, he and his friend, and his whole demeanor softened. And I actually thought as I gave it to him, I don't know if he's going to want this. And he was so kind to me. And he asked if he could hug me. And his friend opened up the bag, and she said, oh my gosh, a comb. Oh my gosh. And my kids were like, because they said as we walked away, like, I've never seen anyone be excited about a comb. And so it was one of those reminders that we can sort of talk ourselves out of something that seems simple or that we don't think is a big deal. But we were able to sit and chat with them a little and do something for them that they really appreciated, but it really blessed us to be able to feel like we could make a difference in something that was really, seemingly easy. And then my other thing that's really cool is there's this cool guy in Pakistan who heard about the birthday project. And, I don't foresee in all of my future travels, maybe I'll make it to Pakistan one day, but it wasn't on my travel list. And I certainly wouldn't have even thought that the birthday project would find its way there. But there's this awesome young man. He decided he wanted to celebrate his birthday. I think he's 22. And he made a video. And what was so cool about him was he didn't even necessarily ask permission. He just went and did things. One of my favorite things that he did was he went to a parking lot and he started washing people's cars and cleaning off their windows. And I just thought that's so cool. Like, I mean, it was just fun. It was such a cool thing to be able to connect with someone that in a million years, I would not have guessed I would have the opportunity to, being in two totally different parts of the world, but also to see to learn, someone else's interpretation of it. It was exciting. It was fun. And that was probably one of my favorite things because I never thought that, and there's places that people pick it up and are kind, and I get to just watch those little seeds of kindness blow all over the place.
Oh, I love that.
These stories are so powerful. I mean, we've had moments of impact like this here, at LoveWorks here, of course, in Norman, Oklahoma. Your story taking me to Pakistan made me think about how many possible birthday projects can take place every day. So we asked a trivia question earlier. So can you enlighten us how many birthdays there are in a day? I'm sorry.
Every day across the world, like today, for example, 19 million people have a birthday today.
Wow.
So I always think if everybody just did one nice thing, you don't have to do the number of acts of kindness that is the age that you're turning. It could just be one. I mean, just imagine if everybody just decided on their birthday all over the world, today I'm going to do something nice for someone, whether it's someone in your family, someone you know well, or just a total stranger. What a lovely world this would be. I mean, I don't think it's totally unreasonable. I mean, we all have, so many people have lots of birthday traditions all over the world, whether it's blowing out candles on a cake or singing the happy birthday song or giving and receiving presents. So the fact that this could be a thing and just a nice little touch that would be a lovely tradition. 19 million people, even a portion of that would be pretty impactful, I think.
It is and that may be your answer. And I'm just imagining and dreaming like 19 million people doing something each and every single day. And maybe that's your answer, Robyn, but we like to ask our guests this, but what is your next big dream for the birthday project?
So my big dream is to take all of these stories and compile them and put them in a book and be able to share what I've learned personally from my own experiences, but also to highlight what other people are doing, because no matter how many ideas or I come up with or share, there's always people who want more. And so I just think we're always inspired to hear how people are loving each other well. And so that is really my big dream, is to put this in a book, maybe a couple of books, and just be able to take it, talk to people all over the world about it.
Well, 19 million birthdays, that's a lot of stories. So I guarantee that has to be at least 2 books. Well, so we know you've mentioned your daughters a few times. And so you have 3 teen girls. And we wanted to ask you, do you have any advice for our parents listening out there on how to raise some kind kids?
Well, I don't know. I'm always kind of nervous to give advice about parenting, but I will tell you that when my girls were little, that was very much the hallmark of our home, was being kind to one another. my wish and dream for my girls was that as they grew up, that they would choose each other as friends, even if they weren't sisters. And so, not that arguments don't happen, and we certainly had our fair share, just like everybody else. But what I was able to do and really made a real priority of was just reminding them about, you can have disagreements, you can be upset about things, but at the end of the day, we love each other first. We remember what we appreciate about each other, and we remember to laugh. So they'll tell you now, and I will tell you that probably that is the number one thing I know, but I hear from other people, is how well my kids like each other. I mean, they really like each other. They laugh all the time. If there's anything I get annoyed with them about, is usually I have to say to them, girls, if you're going to continue to laugh like that, can you please go in the other room? Because I mean, it's just so much. They just giggle and laugh, and they really enjoy each other really a lot. I ask them, do you guys fight? And they're like, sometimes we get annoyed with each other, but we just go in our rooms and we don't talk for a while, then we come back together. But I would do fun things like, we had a get along shirt. So when they were very little, they'd have to sit on the bottom stair in a very giant, extra large Hanes t-shirt. And one would put one arm in one, hole in the other, and they'd have to sit there at the bottom of the stairs and share a shirt with their head in the neck hole stretched out. And they'd end up giggling, or they'd put nose to nose and sing "You Are My Sunshine." And they'd always not like it at first, but when you're nose to nose singing "You Are My Sunshine," eventually it ends up in giggles. We would, when someone was really, truly unkind to the other one, after the proper apologies and stuff, we would always have them write, 2 or 3 things in a note, just to remind themselves what they do love and appreciate about the other one, so that they didn't let those bad feelings take over too much. So, and the other thing is, I think we really capitalized when other kids weren't nice to them. We didn't jump to their defense. We didn't talk bad about the kid who was mean to them. We really talked about, what do you think that's about? Why do you think that kid was mean to you or to your friend? And where do you think they learned that from? And I think building compassion and taking that time to really talk it out, and not to just say, oh, they're terrible, they're a mean kid, but to really stop and think, why do you think they did that? Where do you think that kid heard that word? Or why do you think they would treat someone like that? So it was a lot of teaching and learning. And I hope that paid off, but I think we just made it a priority to really talk about what it is to love people. And loving people isn't always easy. I mean, some of the people that we know best are the hardest to love. So what's fun about loving strangers is that you don't know their story. So when you go out and you do something kind for a stranger on your birthday, what's nice is you don't know if they're a nice person, or if they cut in line at the store, or they cut someone off in traffic. You just love them anyway. And so I think that's a lesson that we just keep reminding ourselves over and over and over again, is when you love people, you do it because it's the right thing to do, not because of how they're necessarily acting or what they necessarily deserve.
Robyn, I think you may be working on another book, and that could be a parenting book. As I'm sitting here taking some notes myself. Thank you for sharing that. Robyn, as you know, in our last part of our interview, we do a link up section where we give all of our dreamers and doers 1 minute to share what is ever on your heart, to encourage the many dreamers and doers that are going to be watching and listening to this. Robyn, are you ready for your 1 minute?
I'm ready.
Carolyn's got the timer. Ready, set, and go.
So I was thinking about this. The other day I was in Trader Joe's, and I watched this woman who was shopping, looking at the peanut butter, and a man came up next to her a little too close. And when he got into her peripheral vision to lean in and get peanut butter, she jumped back. And they had this moment where they were kind of afraid of each other. And honestly, it really kind of broke my heart for a minute. And then I thought, this is such a great opportunity. In fact, this might be the best opportunity that we've had in a really long time to really show kindness and love. Because I think right now, everybody's a little nervous. We're all scared. People are stressed. So they're kind of crabby and they're short tempered and so people are very guarded. And I think right now, more than any time ever, is that people really need some connection. They need some love. They need to find ways to connect with one another. So this year, of all the years that you ever had a birthday, this would be just the best, sweetest year to spend just focusing on how to really love people well this year. And you don't have to wait for your birthday, but it's a really great way to celebrate it, especially because we're not really sure what that looks like for gathering together. There's lots of great ways to help, to be kind, to be sweet. And I think it goes a long way. People are super hungry for kindness and connection. And I think we have to just kind of push past that outer exterior of stress and nerves and annoyance and just show some real kindness. I think a little goes a long way, especially now.
I agree. Robyn, thank you for sharing that. We need kindness more than ever, that's for sure. And so thank you for sharing how we can do that and our intentional small acts of kindness. If all of us just do something every single day, we can definitely change the world. So we're going to give Robyn a quick break and we're going to talk about some digital resources. But as we are talking about these, we need you guys to come up with your questions. If you are holding on to any, now is the time to comment them for Miss Robyn. We're going to do our Q&A in just a little bit.
Carolyn, I still think I'm taking in 19 million birthdays. What did I guess? 5,000?
I think so. Yeah, I was a little bit off too.
A little bit off. Okay, I guess doing the math here, over close to 8 billion people on the planet. But as questions are coming in, we definitely want to remind you where you can access all things digital. And we definitely like to remind people that there are very few resources that you can find that are directly created for young people. And that's leadership resources, that is. And so you can find those at loveworksleadership.org. So not only will that give you access to our live stream, which is Link, our blog, our weekly podcast, but also to our at-home leadership, Carolyn.
That's right. And we have a new lesson that just released this morning on at-home leadership. It's called Fight or Flight, and it's actually about creative problem solving. And so we have a really special challenge along with this lesson, and it is an egg drops challenge. It's not the soup, though I love that soup. It's actually the physics experiment. And so we're challenging our students to submit an egg drop design by June 30th. And the most creative and efficient one, you're going to get a very special prize from LoveWorks. And we never fail on the prizes. So that's going to be really fun for us to do in just a little bit.
Absolutely. So, all right, as we're about to wrap up, send in that question that you have. And Robyn, are you still here?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Well, we're so glad that you're back. And we want to jump into a few questions, if that's okay.
Great. Love it.
Sweet. I don't know if you guys heard, there was like a little doorbell noise a little bit earlier.
I thought that was my computer.
Well, I think that we have a really special guest who has a question. Let's let her into the room.
Well, as this guest is coming in, I think we have a quick question. This will be a quick one, Robyn, from Jasmine. Do you have a favorite animal?
Favorite animal? Oh, you know what? I'm really into golden retrievers right now. I think I want one. Everybody's adopting dogs during the quarantine, and I'm super jealous because I think it's a great time to get an animal. So I have to say, I'm following an unusual amount of Instagram accounts that are centered around golden retrievers. So
oh my gosh, well that's perfect. One of our amazing teams is on the call right now. She actually just adopted a Labradoodle. So she definitely falls within within that category. So it looks like we have our special guest in here now. Her name is Elizabeth, and when she was in middle school, she actually did a birthday project. And so, Elizabeth, are you there?
I don't think I can hear you.
Oh, we can hear you. Oh, well, we'll hang on for just a moment. We do have, as Elizabeth's getting her sound figured out, we have another question. This one is from Lydia, Miss Robyn, and she asked, what's your big dream?
Oh, gosh. So my big dream really is to get that book written. I, just like everybody else, you know what's funny is I've been doing this for 10 years. I could talk about birthdays. I can give people ideas. I can do all this. But for some reason, sitting down and writing it, I get a lot of, doubts in my head. And I think, I don't know if anyone's going to read this. And maybe who do I think I am that I don't know? I just start overthinking it. And so that really is my big dream. And I don't really have a good reason that it's not done yet because I've been talking about it. And I sometimes will sit down and work on it and then I'll find something else that seems more important. So really, that would be the dream job for me is to be an author and to be be able to travel and talk to people about it and help people and just see it grow. That's for sure my big dream.
Well, I'm ready to hopefully be the first person to buy it. I'm excited about that. So, Miss Elizabeth, are you by chance able to hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yay! That's so fantastic. So it has been a little bit, I think, since Robyn and Elizabeth, you guys have seen each other. And so wanted to do just a little quick catch up because Elizabeth is one of the students that you inspired when she was in middle school to actually do a birthday project. And so, hey, Elizabeth, could you tell us where you are now? Not, I guess, literally, but grade-wise and all of that.
Yeah, right now, okay, so since it's summer, next year I'm going to be a sophomore. So exciting, yay. And I am really excited. And I was really excited about doing this because the birthday project was one of a big thing in middle school for me. In 6th grade, that's whenever I did the birthday project. And it really helped encourage other people because what I did was I wrote notes and I put them in the kids in my school's lockers. And whenever they saw them or opened their locker, it would sometimes it would fall out and they would see it and they'd just get a little smile on their face. That made me feel really happy and it made them feel even better. And the birthday project just helped so many people and I'm so happy that it did that. I was inspired to do that because I felt people around me, at the time, they really needed encouragement or inspiration. And I also wanted to involve myself in something that impacted others around me in a positive way and not just impacting myself.
Well, Elizabeth, thanks for sharing that. I love that you shared what the inspiration in your heart behind it and what you did as well. And so can I ask you, has that inspired you to live differently now? So that was your birthday project in 6th grade. How have you kind of taken on kindness now?
Well, since those were a purposeful type of thing, now I'm noticing everybody just being kind to each other and I'll just open the door for someone or help someone with their homework, or if somebody's struggling to open their locker, I'll go and help them with that. It's just the little things. And now that since my birthday project, I've started to notice those things and they've made a big impact.
Oh, I love that. It definitely changes your mindset, helps you see more and more good when you fill your mind with more and more positive things. And so thanks for sharing that, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, I wanted to tell you that you've kind of tapped into the big secret about the birthday project. So believe it or not, just like anything else, there's always going to be a few critics. And the number one thing, if I hear any kind of criticism about the birthday project, is one of the there's like two things people, if they're going to say something kind of negative about it. And one of them is that you shouldn't just be kind on your birthday, that you shouldn't just wait for your birthday to be kind. And I agree. I think that it's the big secret about it is just what you said, is that if you focus and decide like your birthday is the day that you're going to do it. It's like your gift back to the world. It's hard for it to not kind of seep into who you are, because you spend time planning it, you spend time doing it, you spend time telling people about it and sharing the experiences. And then for the other 364 days, it kind of seeps into your bones a little bit. And I think generally people really do want to help each other, and they really do want to be kind to each other. We just get kind of busy and get into our lives. So it's a great day to refocus that. But you've nailed it. And that's the thing, is it's not just about one day. It does sort of become part of who you are, and you start looking for opportunities. So thank you so much for helping just bring that into the world, just making it a kinder place to live.
Yeah. And I think like most people, if they do the birthday project, like being kind for one day and like being like doing a big thing for one day, that's great. And even if you don't remember or like realize that you're doing it, you just kind of like start to be kind to everyone, just in the little things also.
Exactly.
Well, Robyn, once that book is ready, I think you have someone else that is ready to go on the road with you, a speaking and book tour. Elizabeth could be ready for it.
Totally. Absolutely.
Elizabeth, thanks for being on with us today. Robyn, want to sneak in one quick question for you from Sky. What is your favorite flower?
Oh, what a fun question. My favorite flower is the peony. I love peonies. They're just big and fluffy and beautiful. I mean, I really just love them. They're my favorite of all. And I do love most flowers. I can't think of a flower I wouldn't love, but those are my favorite.
Robyn, those are my favorite flowers.
I should have known.
I just grew my first one. Well, Robyn, thank you so much for doing this interview with us, inspiring all of our dreamers and doers out there that are listening to go and maybe not even just do a birthday project, but also just to spread kindness in their everyday lives. And so thank you for sharing with us all of that goodness, for sure. All right, so before we end our call, we do have one more special opportunity for our listeners out there, and it is a tornado concept. And so this is a very hot topic right now in Oklahoma, where the weather is heating up for sure. And so this Wednesday, we're going to be doing a virtual tornado concept class with Dr. Sean Waugh. He's from the NOAA Severe Storm Laboratory. We've had lots of exciting weather, so that might mean that you have a lot of questions about tornadoes, thunderstorms, all of those things. And so in our special virtual class, 4:00 on Wednesday, he's going to show us the tools he uses in the field. He's going to answer questions that you might have about tornadoes and severe weather. And so you guys we're going to drop a link inside the comments, and that's how you actually RSVP for the class, and we'll send you the link there.
And Carolyn, speaking of all of these links, we have another link coming up, not only this coming Thursday at 7 p.m., but next Monday morning. We definitely want you to mark your calendars at 9 a.m. as we're bringing in special guest, someone who's very familiar to LoveWorks, and that is Elizabeth Grantham. Elizabeth and her sister Allison, at the ages of 5 and 8, that is 5 and 8, started a nonprofit called Beads of Good. I wonder what I was doing at the age of 5 and 8. It wasn't starting a nonprofit, but they did. And then several years later, they actually just released last year a 3-year labor of love, and it was her children's book called The Girl Chronicles. We're going to have Elizabeth here, another dreamer and doer. It is going to be a great time. So remember, to access all things digital for LoveWorks, all you have to do is just visit our website at loveworksleadership.org.
That's right. And remember, real leaders, they don't blend in, they stand out.
Dream big, everyone.
And do your dream.